Welcome again. This session, we're going to be talking about how to set up a cremation uh, plan with your agreements or contracts. So we're going to walk through that process. So once again, this is just information about pre-planning a funeral. As I talked before in the last session, we had a 2-question COVID supplemental questionnaire. Now we have a 4-question where they're required to sign off on that. And if the answer is anything but no, that's going to hold them up for at least 25 days for that agreement to be approved. So when we look, some of these things are going to be familiar from when we spoke last time. I'm using price points from a different funeral home this time, but we still have the purchaser and the contract beneficiary being the same on a cremation. So both are John Smith, XYZ Funeral Home goes here. And then, you have the different prices. So you have, the basic services of the funeral staff, funeral directors, $14.95. Embalming is going to be $13.95. Your dressing and casketing here, which includes hair, nails, makeup, haircut, shaving, anything to make a person look good. It's going to be included here. This is $430. This one has 1-day visitation for $820, and then a funeral ceremony at another facility at $820. Or it could, be here as a memorial service, or it could be funeral home at, funeral ceremony at the funeral home. It could be here, but wherever it's applicable, that's where you want to put the amount. Once again, this is going to be in your general price list for that particular funeral home. Then you have the transportation, 50-mile radius is $695. You have your hearse and funeral coach is $495. Now here's the thing, you may not even need to have a funeral coach in there with the cremation because the person is not going to the cemetery, the person is going to the crematory after the funeral services. This one happens to have 3 death certificates. Remember, the first death certificate is $21. Each subsequent death certificate is $4, i.e. that's how you get to $29 for 3 death certificates. You have the cremation permit. There's a permit. Actually, this amount, I believe now it's $30. It used to be $25. It's $30. Cremation. So this number might be off, but just understand this is an example. So you have your cremation permit. Now a lot of this is provided by the state. A lot of people want this on the second page, but then there's other funeral homes that want it right here on the first page. And then you have direct cremation. Basically, the cost of the cremation, if it's not a direct cremation, if it's a cremation with a service, meaning that you have, your viewing, the body's going to be present, it's going to be embalmed, you're going to have a service ceremony, then you want to just scratch out direct and just put cremation. And then you want to put the total of the cremation right here. Then, because the body's going to be present with this particular funeral, you're going to have the casket here. It's going to be a steel, 20 gauge, crepe square. Then you're going to have the urn. Now, you're going to have to find this on the general price list. But our urn, generally, they want a description of the urn. It's just a wood urn. And if you can give more, then that's even greater. Cherry wood urn. It's going to be $105. Then you have your color programs. 100 color programs, $185. You have your special guest book or a registry book. It's one for $100. Then you have your, let's go ahead and put thank you cards in here. A lot of funeral homes don't have it, but put thank you cards in there, $25, and it's going to be $25. 25 cards, $25. Then you have your carnation casket spray, that's $225. And then let's go ahead and put in a memorial DVD. That's with the pictures of your life and the music and everything. This particular funeral home, I know it's $75. So that means the total should come up to $82.09. Now, because I just added some things in there, I know it's going to be more. But for example's sake, you first of all, you need to add all of these things up to make sure that everything is right. Remember, you're going to check cremation. If you don't check cremation, it's going to kick it back. Check 20 gauge, lining, crepe, square. Once you start doing these, it becomes pretty easy to figure that out. You're doing an out of burial container for sure, because it's a cremation. Then you go to the second page, the non-guaranteed cash advance items page. There's no non-guaranteed cash advance items because this particular funeral home wants everything on the first page. So that's 0. And the total becomes 8209. But this particular funeral home likes to do discounts. So there's a discount of $4,709, which brings the whole cremation plan to $3,500. Now, this particular person is going to do a monthly installment for 10 years. That's going to be $38.18. So what you want to do is you want to take, remember, it's 10 years, 12 months in a year. So that's 12 times 10, that's 120 months. You want to take 120 months times 38.18. You should get this number right here. This is the least that person is going to pay. This is the most the person is going to pay. They're going to need to initial here and here, not here at the bottom. So nothing goes in here. So, contract definition, general provisions. You can read that at your leisure. Contract policy default. What happens when you default? Contract cancellation policy. So this is where they're going to sign the 20-day free look period, and they're going to sign right here. So for any reason, like I said, if Jesus tells them he's going to rapture them, just call me and let me know. We'll rip this up, and that we'll think nothing else of it. And then you come here, the required signature. This is the disclosure page for the state of Texas, letting a person know that the state gives them 3 days to cancel. We just give them 20 days to cancel. So you need to make sure that it's dated. You can check here, where you did the agreement. They're not going to hold it up for that, but did you do it at the seller's location, meaning the funeral home, or did you did it at the provider's location, their home? Now it's it's remote. You can do it remotely, but the purchaser is going to sign off on that. They're going to put their social security number. They're going to print their name, or you print it for them. Generally, this stuff here, I fill it out for the customer. I put their name, their address. I put in their social security number, the city, state, and their name as a contract beneficiary. And I just have them to sign right here on the disclosure page. And then the funeral home owner, they're going to sign. They're going to write their name here. The funeral home's address is here, city, state, zip here, and then the agent's signature and the agent's printed name goes here, just like on the burial agreement. Same thing with the cremation agreement. Then, I talked about the irrevocable assignment. That is something that's already included in Texas pre-needs, but I explained this, and hopefully that made sense when I did that. Okay. I also talked about this in our last presentation on how do you use this here to calculate the premium factor for the monthly premium for a person by looking at their age and how long they want to pay and the premium amount. So if the person is 56 years old and they want to pay for 8 years and their premium amount is $5,000, then you're going to go to 8 years. You're going to take 5,000, or let's say the premium is 5,500. You're going to take 5,500 multiplied by 0.01609, and you're going to get the most. You're going to get the monthly premium by that calculation. And hopefully you've seen the last. Let me just do it. If you forgot, let me just do it instead of just going over it real quick. So basically, let's say that the policy is $6,000, and the person is 55 years old, and they want to pay for 8 years. So you're going to go here, 55 over the 8-year pay, and you're going to take 6,000 times 8 years, 0.1445. 0.1445 equals 86.70. You're going to get the premium amount. That's what their monthly premium is going to be. Now, this here is the application, and this is pretty much the same thing as of the last application that we did. You have the person's name, middle initial, if that's optional, the last name, their date of birth, age, gender, their address, so basically what, and let's see here. We're going to say 54 Chestnut Lane, Dallas, Texas, 7521247. And then, if the person is paying for it themselves, then you're not needing a payer. But once again, if Miss Jill is paying for it through her account, you're going to put her information here, and you're also going to put, her relationship as a wife, and then more than likely you're going to put her as the primary beneficiary as well if something were to happen to him. So she's going to be the payer, the wife, as well as the primary beneficiary. Again, you want to ask the questions. Are you hospitalized? Are you in hospital care now? Are you in hospice? If it's no, you put no. If you have AIDS, AIDS-related syndrome, HIV, if it's no, you put no. Then you want to ask them the questions that I talked about in the last session. Do you have high blood pressure? Do you have diabetes? Have you had a cancer or heart attack in the last 5 years? If they answer 2 or more questions to that, it's going to be yes. If they just said, well, I have high blood pressure, that's it, then it's going to be no to all 3. If it's a yes, then it's going to be a limited benefit, whether it's a 10-year or 8-pay or 5-pay, it's going to be a limited benefit plan. If they say no to all 3 questions, then it's going to be a full benefit plan. And I explained that in the last session. So hopefully you remember what that was. The funeral amount is going to be $3,500. The face amount is going to be $3,500. Those 2 numbers are always the same. The initial payment is going to be $38.18. The periodic payment is going to be $38.18. So $3,500. Let me just go back up here. Make sure that, yeah, that's what it was here. The total amount was $3,500. So this is going to match the $3,500 that is here. $3,500. Obviously, we want to do EFT, or electronic withdrawal. And they're saying that they want it drafted upon approval. It's going to be monthly. It's going to be the 22nd of the month. Now, here's the thing. Let's say if they, their payment is the 22nd of the month, but you're talking to them on the 23rd of the month. So here's the thing. If they, in fact, take the payment out, let's say the 27th of the month, they're not going to take the payment out again on the 22nd of the following month, only because we will never take 2 payments out in a 30-day period. So if they take the payment out on the 26th of July, for example, and then when the 22nd of August rolls around, they'll skip that, and the next payment will not be until September 22nd. So just know that they're never going to take 2 payments in a 30-day period. So they will skip a month, depending on how you set up the initial payment. So that's one of the ways of, hey, listen, if you go ahead and make the payment now, you're going to skip next month, and you won't start again until the following. I hope that made sense. So it's going to be monthly. They say they want those on the 22nd of the month. And then, you have your bank. The bank is Hunt's Bank. I'm not sure if that's a real bank, but, I put it there. And you got your account number, you got your routing number, and then you also have Mr. Jill Smith here. And then Mr. Jill's signature will go here. Do you have existing life insurance and policies? Always no. I'm not getting into that. And then what city did you do this in? What state? The date of, not the date of birth, but the day's date goes here. The insured signature goes here. And is the applicant replacing insurance? I don't know. I'm always going to put no here because I'm not trying to get them to do that. So I'm putting no here. And then the agent is going to sign their name. Then the agent is going to print their name. They're going to make sure it's dated, and they're going to put their agent number right here. And then, again, I'm going to say XYZ funeral home. All right. And then, once again, I talked about, if you're doing a remote agreement, you're going to do the email contact, because they have to send agreements out to the emails of everybody. They got to send it to the funeral home, they got to send it to the customer, and they have to send it to you. So you're going to get the insurer's name and the insurer's email address. You're going to, if it's a payer, then you're going to put the payer's name and the payer's email address. If it's an owner, you're going to do the same thing. Your name, your email address, so you can sign off and get paid. And then the funeral home owners, our representative's name and their email address. So everybody who needs to sign off on the agreement will sign off on the agreement, and everybody will be happy. And then you have the child and pet protection. So the purchaser, John Smith. Then you have XYZ Funeral Home. That's the funeral home where services are going to be rendered. And this is going to protect child, stepchild, grandchild, step-grandchild, great-grandchild, step-great-grandchild, up to $5,000. And again, that's from age 1 to 18. As you put money in that plan, that money will accumulate. If something happens to one of them, that money is diverted towards their funeral service, but you don't lose your benefits. And then, the insurer is going to initial here, and they're going to sign here. And you, as the agent, are going to sign here, and the funeral home representative is going to sign here. So initial here and sign here at the bottom. And that's pretty much it on the cremation agreement. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. But that should really give you a head start on understanding. Now, here's the thing. If you do make errors as it relates to your plan, the SNL will send you an email letting you know what errors need to be fixed. And you just need to jump right on it right away, fix those errors, you'll be good to go. Resubmit it, and then you're on your way to getting paid. All right, listen, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. I appreciate your time, and thank you, and I hope you have a